The glory of the Milky Way, our edge-on perspective of the galaxy in which we live. An astronomical vista best observed when it's summer in the northern hemisphere and winter in the south. A time when the most powerful telescopes on Earth can peer into clouds of gas and dust. When they can glimpse the galactic center and, who knows, a black hole. Time for the stars of Alpha Centauri, little more than 4 light-years away. The season of the Milky Way. They look fixed to us, but most stars are in motion around the galactic center, although in a human lifetime they won't appear to move at all. The 200 billion stars of the Milky Way, all gently turning. One of them, our Sun, takes 200 million years to orbit the galactic center. If we could fast forward 10,000 years, the stars would reposition like this. As it is, it's the point in Earth's orbit of the Sun which determines our view of the sky. Right now, it's summer in the northern hemisphere, and towards the pole, the sun may barely set. But in the mid-latitudes, this is the sky, the Milky Way stretching overhead. We're in the north, looking north. These are the constellations of summer. Towards the horizon, the bright yellow star, Capella. Above, in the Milky Way, within the W-shaped constellation of Cassiopeia, the debris of a star that exploded 300 years ago, Cassiopeia A, a massive radio source, but no good optically. The circle in the inset is our Sun. Imagine traveling away towards our nearest stellar neighbor. This is the position our star would assume in the cosmos, an insignificant dot before the W of Cassiopeia. Top right in the Milky Way in Cepheus, the pulsing star Delta Cephei. It's a so-called Cepheid variable. Such pulsing has enabled astronomers to calculate the distance of Cepheids, and therefore to measure the universe. We're now looking south, the Milky Way again, and on the far right, Corona Borealis, the northern crown. Next door, mighty Hercules. And top center, Lyra, the constellation of the Harp. In the Milky Way, Cygnus, the swan. Below, to tiny Delphinus, the dolphin. Again in the Milky Way, Sagitta, the arrow. And beneath, Aquila, the eagle. Bottom left to Capricornus, the sea-goat, and at the other side of the Milky Way, Ophiuchus, the snake-holder. To the right, Serpens, the snake itself. And lastly, at the bottom, Sagittarius, the archer, with a hint to the right of Scorpius. The first close-up is top right in Hercules. Here is M13, a globular cluster of 100,000 stars, good through binoculars. In Lyra top center, the star Vega. Brilliant Vega has a ring of dust, possibly a planetary system in the making. Lower in Lyra is the double star Sheliak. They can't be separated in a small telescope, but they seem to stream off a trail and be so close they exchange material. Next to them in Lyra, M57, the famous Ring Nebula, a puff left over from a star that exploded hundreds of thousands of years ago. Excellent in a small telescope. and the debris of another ancient explosion, the Cygnus Loop, not so easy to spot. But through the Hubble Space Telescope, a shock wave still racing through space. Here's its position in Cygnus. Lower in the Milky Way to Sagitta, and a cosmic showpiece, M27, the Dumbbell Nebula. It's the shroud of a slowly dying star, and good in binoculars. Still lower to Aquila and the bright star Altair, just 16 light-years away. Altair spins so fast it has bulged into an ellipsoid. Still in the northern hemisphere, these are the summer constellations from further south, from the Mediterranean or Florida. Sagittarius is now well clear of the horizon, and beneath is Corona Australis, the southern crown. On the right, the whole of Scorpius. Up here, M16, a cluster of stars immersed in the Eagle Nebula. Fine in binoculars, they formed 2 million years ago from the gas and dust which still surround them. This central region of the Milky Way abounds in splendor. We're scanning the vicinity of Antares in Scorpius, a vast nebula, a cloud of dust and gas 5 light-years across. Thousands upon thousands of stars. The galactic center, in this case a picture from Australia. The true center, however, is obscured by cosmic fog, but there is a view by radio telescope. This radio image suggests a cloud pattern caused by a black hole, a place where whole stars are devoured. But this infrared picture upsets the theory. It shows gigantic stars unperturbed at the galactic center. The region remains a mystery. As Earth's seasonal tilt has given us summer in the northern hemisphere, so it's winter in the south. With the Milky Way arching overhead, this is the southern sky. The winter constellations from the southern hemisphere looking north. In fact, the inverse of the sky from the north. Shining brightest in the south, Alpha Centauri, a triple system, of which this red dwarf is the closest star to Earth. Proxima, just 4.3 light-years away. Here's the position of Alpha Centauri in the Milky Way. And these are the surrounding constellations. Alpha Centauri is in Centaurus. We're now looking south in the southern hemisphere. Top right in Centaurus, a globular cluster. This one is the finest example in the heavens, Omega Centauri, 1 million stars bunched together in a spherical cloud. Several of these clusters sit like satellites over the center of the Milky Way. Again in Centaurus, one of the loudest radio sources and visible in binoculars, the phenomenon of Centaurus A, neither star nor cluster nor a single galaxy. In fact, 2 galaxies in one, a galactic collision.